Hi, it's me, Vicki Marie. It's so nice to see everybody here waiting. That was so nice. Let's say some hellos to everybody. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Barb. Oh, so it's 10:21 a.m. in Berkeley, California. Here in Spain, it is 7:30. I presume it's 6:30 in the UK. But yeah, morning for you, Barbara. I'm calling you Barbara. I don't know that. I'm Barb because it's Barb. I'm presuming it's Barbara. Hi, yes, Vicky. I was thinking, oh, it's DMV, and I didn't know, but you told me you're Vicky as well, aren't you? Yeah. Hi, Vicky. So Glasgow, 1825. Yeah. Excuse me, all of you that are in the UK. Can we have our weather back, please? Because it has rained all day again today here in Spain. It started raining first thing in the morning and it hasn't stopped raining all day. So I'm getting a bit fed up with it now, as much as I do like a bit of rain, because I am from Manchester after all, the rainy city, and I do miss the rain sometimes. But oh my God, it's been ridiculous. So yeah, can we have our weather back, please? Because I think you've got it at the moment. Jackie, hi Jackie. And that was me. I was nearly saying hello to myself there. So what's that you're asking, Barb? Is there a health privacy law in the UK? Yeah. The police reveal certain parts of Nicola's alleged condition, but not enough to know what happened on January the 10th. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Jennifer. Hi, Desi. Hi, Jill. Yes, you Jill. You can't keep the sunshine forever. You just can't. It's not fair. My Blanchy Alfie. Hi. Hi, Ruth. I was going to say hi, Gary, and then I have to stop myself. Glowing. Oh, glowing. My God, it's poured down all day. Hi, Monica from Western Australia. Oh gosh, tell us what time it is over there. Come on, we're doing the Peter Kay thing. If you're in it, oh Jackie, thank you. I don't think I'm looking as pretty as a picture, but hi Maya. Yeah, let's do the Peter Kay thing. What time is it over there? So what time is it over in Western Australia? Yeah, poured down all day. Hi Sheila. Hi Sheila. Oh, it's great. You're all, the gang's all here. It's great. You know, perhaps this is a better time, is it? At 7:30. Hi, Monica. 1:32 a.m. In Australia, in Western Australia. My goodness. Are you a bit of an insomniac, Monica? You don't feel like sleeping tonight. Hi, Joe H. I'm like that. So last night I just couldn't sleep. Sometimes I go to bed quite earlier, but then I wake up maybe 3-4 o'clock and I start, going on the phone and looking at things, and then before you know it, oh, you finally caught me live. Yeah, good. Well, I started doing this video about Silly Sally, as I call her. I think Sally Riley, I think she's a nice person. I really do. But I'm just starting to think, and I started to prepare for this video, and I'm going to show you the videos that I've picked out, etc. You're a night owl, Monica. Yeah, my son's a night owl. I'm not. I'm an early bird, but oh, it's dinner time, but you like watching me live. Right, okay. Right, I'm going to just not look at the chat because I keep looking at the chat and get distracted. So please don't be insulted if I don't say hello to you just yet. I will catch up every now and again. But it puts me off my stride sometimes. And I started to say about when I was always going to do a video about Sally, Silly Sally, Shilly Shally, Silly Sally. I really do think she's a nice person, and I sort of started preparing for this video thinking I'm not going to think bad, and I still don't think bad. I don't think she's a bad person, but I do think, from what I've looked, and you'll see the videos we're going to look at, she has made a complete cock up of everything at the beginning. I don't necessarily blame her, because I do feel she was misled. by you know who, PA. And this goes back to what Barbara was asking before. Is there a privacy law in the UK about people's health records, etc.? Well, Barb, you know, this is really unusual for the police to release any information about people's medical records, etc. It's all very strange, but everything is so strange about this case because we're given little bits. They tell us not to speculate, and we'll see as we go through Silly Sally's videos, she's speculating all the time, right from the word go, but we're not allowed to speculate. But there's no evidence for anything. There's no evidence of foul play. There's no evidence of self-deletion. There's no evidence of accident. There is no evidence, full stop. But it's like they've speculated right from the beginning, but then they tell us not to speculate, but then they don't give us the full information about anything. So they tell us that there was a welfare check on the 10th of January, but we still don't know all the details of the health check. We still don't know. We have no, they've released, they say that the body cam wasn't turned on. Was it turned on? We don't know. I don't understand this air of mystery all the time. Then they told us, well, they didn't tell us that there were any issues with Nicola. We'll see that as we're going through the interviews with Silly Sally. She clearly states in these interviews there are no issues. She is asked at the press conference specifically by someone, was Nicola ill? Are there any issues we should know about? And she says, no, we're not considering that at all. So then suddenly, you know, after that, yes, suddenly there were all these issues. So this is the problem. Exactly. We've got no choice but to speculate, or we can just pretend it never happened, but we can't do that because they were thrusting it down our throat for 3 weeks. All this thing about Nicola Bulley, and it was all on the news, and we all got invested. We all started to care about her, and we all started to worry about if, you know, what had happened. And then suddenly they said, right, that's it. Now you can't think about that anymore. You can't speculate about that. Well, that's right. Exactly, Barb. Something happened. Even Paul said that. Even PA said that. Something happened. People don't just vanish. Anyway, as we go through this video and we listen to what Silly Sally's got to say, I keep calling her Silly Sally. Someone said to me on a comment, because her surname's Riley, which is my surname, oh, you're not undercover, are you? And I mean, I think it was a joke. You're not undercover, are you? And you know, she's not a relation, is she? And I said, well, I wouldn't be very good undercover if I used the same name, would I? As you know, that'd be a bit of a giveaway, wouldn't it? Actually using the same name if you're undercover as Sally. As far as I know, she's no relative of mine, but you never know. We might be connected somewhere along the line. She's from Lancashire. I'm from Manchester. Oh, Chumma, you pulled a muscle in your back. Oh, yeah, you need to rest up. So Mia's asking, will all the info for Nicola Bulley or MB CCTV be shown and explained at the inquest? If there is any, it should be. It should all. The thing is, whatever happens at the inquest, if it actually isn't just adjourned again, because I'm still not sure that might not happen. You know that because we don't know anything. Anything could happen, really, couldn't it? Could come up with a verdict. The verdict could be anything. We just have no idea. We know it can't be. The coroner cannot come up with a verdict of murder. You can only come up with an open verdict, you know, but it's not like a criminal trial. So it's like, what is it? Misadventure, accidental death, the big S word. Oh, thank you, Mia. Oh, it was you, Essex Boys Outlaw. I thought it was a joke. I said I thought I thought it was a joke, but do you know, I thought, God, I mean, what if I am related? Maybe I am related to her. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, justice for Nicola, DW Bull, we want. Yeah, I don't think how can it all be resolved in one day? How can it, with all these things. Questions are allowed, Barb, at an inquest. Questions are allowed, but not spontaneous questions. So if you want to ask a question at an inquest, you have to, thank you, Chumba, for binge watching. If you want to ask a question at an inquest, you have, in Britain, you have to contact the coroner beforehand and tell them that you want to ask this question, and the coroner then decides whether they're going to allow. I mean, it is like, well, it's a he in this case, he or she, they can call witnesses. I've had to give evidence. I had to give evidence at the inquest for my ex-partner when he deleted himself. I had to stand up and give evidence. So I was one of the last people to speak to him the night before, etc. So they do call witnesses and you do give evidence. So it's very similar to a trial, but it's not a criminal trial. It's to establish the facts. So hi, Catherine John. I hope I don't miss anyone. I'm trying to say hello to people, but hello to everyone who's coming in. There's quite a few of you here now, so that's nice. So I may miss people as I go along. But yeah, now when I look back now at that inquest that I attended, the police were there. So the police who actually eventually discovered it. So I don't know. I would imagine that Jason Rothwell will be there. Anyone who had anything to do with that case, well, if the coroner hasn't already spoken to them and they want to ask them questions, the coroner will. Hello, Jean. There's no cross-examination, Barb. No cross, because it's not like a trial. In that sense, it's just for evidence, confirmation of evidence, if you like. So I remember being asked, about our relationship and how because part of the reason that he deleted himself, it wasn't the only reason that he deleted himself. It wasn't only because of me. He had I found out later, he had some financial problems, and he also, which I didn't know anything about, and he also had some mental health issues that I didn't know anything about, that I only found out about later. But the coroner called me as a witness and asked me, gosh, and when I think about it now, it's funny, these things happen and you don't realise, like the press were there and everything, because inquests are open to the public normally. So really, technically, anyone can go along to that inquest and attend. And unless the coroner demands that they're there, the family can say they don't want to attend. So but it's all got to be, the coroner is the boss. The coroner decides who can do what. So whatever you want to do, if you want to ask questions, you can ask questions at an inquest of other people that are there. When I attended that inquest, people could have asked me questions, but they have to clear it with the coroner first. The coroner decides what people can do or what they can't do. So, yeah, I mean, we've not got long now. Is it 2 weeks on Monday? I think it is. Is it? So it's the 26th. Oh, I'm rubbish with the dates. Is it what date is it on Monday? But anyway, I think it's 2. Is it 2 or 3 weeks now? Someone. Oh yeah, don't forget to like if you like it. I always forget to ask, don't I? I've forgotten to do the housekeeping. I forget to do everything because once I get talking and I see everybody and get chatting with people, I just forget about all the other things I'm supposed to do. But anyway, it doesn't matter really. So yeah, talking of that inquest, well, let me just do it. I'll do it now, and then you all seem to be chatting in the chat, which is nice. I like to see you chatting in the chat as well. So if a lot of you who already know me, you'll know about that. If you want to hear about my experiences with a coroner and the inquest and the reasons why I came to live in Spain, where I've now been for 26 years. That was my anniversary on the 6th of June. That was yesterday. 26 years. Oh my God, I only came for a month's holiday and I'm still here. And also, if you want to learn Spanish, you can learn Spanish. That's my other job. And I have books available to learn Spanish on Amazon.com. So it's Vicki Riley, Vicki with an I, Riley, Riley. If you want to learn Spanish, or if you want to buy my book, which is Confessions of a Spanish Teacher. What's the other thing? So yeah, don't forget to like the video. That's the most important thing you can do for me, is like the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And if you want to, obviously, I'm not trying to make you do it. And then, like Mia did, she sent me a super sticker, or one of these super things. And what else? Oh, I've got members on here, so I've got a members section where you get to see some extra footage. You get to get news sort of a bit earlier, and some extra stuff, which is €1.99 a month and cancelable anytime. Or you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com to support my channel. Oh, and just, yeah, because next week, you all know now that I am on location next week. I'm going to the scene of a very famous crime. I'm very excited to go there. It's a place that I've never been to before. So apart from the interest of the situation and what a famous place it is, I'm hoping that I'll enjoy it as well. And on Saturday, I'll be letting my members know exactly where I'm going. And then on Monday, when I actually arrive there, I'm hoping to do a live stream. Yeah. Now, Ruth, I heard that, well, they didn't attend the first day. The inquest is already opened. It did open shortly after Nicola was, just after Nicola was identified, didn't it? They opened the inquest and, and literally opened it for 5 minutes and closed it again. So that may be why the family didn't attend as well, because there wasn't really anything to be said. It was just opening it and then adjourning it until the 26th of June. And the coroner said that he wanted to gather more information. He wanted to appoint, and we mustn't forget this, which is quite an important point, that he has appointed a Home Office forensic analyst to, and they're only normally appointed when there is foul play, or certainly it's obviously a very difficult case. And the more you look into, thank you, Jill, I suit the more you look into, I go through these different, sometimes I think, because it's been so quiet, and that sometimes I get a bit despondent and I think the truth's never going to come out, whatever the truth is. And then other times I feel encouraged by the silence, because I think it wouldn't be this silent unless there was something going on behind the scenes, because it would be much more open. The whole mystery of it in some ways tells us that there's something going on behind the scenes, if that makes sense. That's right, the Home Office pathologist, yeah. So, there are things going on, I think, but we'll find out. Unfortunately, we've got to be patient. And I just think if this is how it is for us, I don't know how it will feel to Nicola's family. It must be terrible. Although they may be getting information. I remember with my particular case, if you like, with the coroner was constantly in touch with me about things, explained to me what the procedure would be. I mean, it was a cut and dried case, if you like. It was obviously the big S, but you still have to have an inquest about it. You can't, a doctor can't just put that on someone's medical certificate. If it's it has to go through a coroner's court to be proven. So, thank you, Barb, a super sticker. Thank you. It's very kind, very kind. So, so I get carried away with all different things. We haven't even started on Silly Sally yet. So yeah, I was thinking of Sally, and I was thinking, oh my God, she must think what's hit her, really, because I know she's a superintendent, but she will never have been involved with a case like this before. She'll have been getting on with her job, unassumingly, doing whatever she has to do with all the cases she has to deal with. Lancashire's a big place. There's, if you've started following the Lancashire Police now on Facebook or Twitter or anything, which a lot of us have, you'll see there's always things going on, people going missing, or, oh, you know, it's there's crime, you know, and there's a lot of things go on. So, oh, thank you, Bob. I feel very honoured that that's your first super sticker. Thank you so much. Anyway, so yeah, she was probably, you know, carrying on with her job, enjoying her job, and then boom, you know, this case hits. And I think she's been wrong-footed right from day one. That's my opinion. Now, what we're going to look at, first of all, then, we're going to look at, I found an interview, you may have seen it, it's easily available online, that poor silly Sally, God, I won't be able to say that. Silly Sally, she made a video at Christmas last year to wish the whole of Lancashire a Merry Christmas, talk about what they'd achieved that year, how they were recovering from COVID, which obviously must have been quite difficult, mustn't it, for the police and that to deal with, and you know, looking forward to the future. So that was, she made this video that we're going to look at in December last year, not knowing what was going to happen at the end of January, you know, that she was going to become probably embroiled in probably the biggest case. Well, she'll never become, I hope for her sake, she'll never be embroiled in a case like this again that's attracted attention to the, you know, for all over the world. You can see just on my little channel, you know, I've got people from Australia, America, all over the world, all different European countries. People are interested in this case. And Sally, you know, she hasn't dealt with it very well, has she? Or nobody thinks. But anyway, so what we're going to do, so what did she do? Sally never turned her mobile silent, either in the press. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think, do you know what, Essex Boys Outlaw? I think Sally, she just is totally, or was, that's why, silly Sally, yeah, that's it, Shilly Sally. Stop Shilly Sally. Oh my God, try saying that after, goodness me, I can't even say it. Stop shilly-shallying, silly Sally. So no wonder she was turfed off, and in comes Rebecca. She's like the big guns blazing. You know, I'll be looking at her as well. Who's Miss Stables? So it's Sally, then Becky, and finally when MB was found, we had head of crime. Well, I don't know about her. I haven't had a look at her, Jackie. So thanks for that, because I'll have a look at, is it a woman, another woman? So it's not, I'm liking all this fact that it's all women, but I wish they were doing a better job of it. Ah, yeah, Barb, the big time cop. That's Rebecca Smith. She sells seashells. Yeah, yeah. I will be looking at her statement as well. And Pauline Stables, right? Okay, I'll have a look at her as well. Now, I think Rebecca, when Rebecca came in, but even then she came in, and then she had to bring the guy along with her to the press conference. You know, this sort of it was, whatever happens in this case of Nicola Bulley, whatever the truth is, it was dealt with really badly right from the beginning. Now I'm cutting Sally a little bit of slack because I do think she was misled. That's my opinion. You know, by PA, he'll have turned around and said this about her having these issues, but you know, then she never mentioned them to anyone. Anyway, we're chatting about it, and I need to Sally from the alley. Sally from the alley, Debbie's saying. So I'm going to present to you this video of her talking at Christmas. Now, I'm just warning you, the sound is really quiet on it, and that's not my doing that. The sound on the video is quite quiet. So every now and again, I might have to tell you what she's saying, because you may not be able to hear it, or you may just be able to hear it. Right, I've got to do something first. Hang on, I've got to put that like that. Present, share screen. Now, Do you know, things pop up on my computer. It drives me absolutely bonkers. Things that I haven't even... Right, let's see. Now, if I've got share screen, surely that should come up. Just share, select a tab to share. Right, I think I'm sharing the wrong thing. Hang on. Video file, that's it. Oh, hi, Jackie. You're all right. I haven't even started the video yet because we got talking, so don't worry. Yeah, Andrew Snowden is an absolute idiot, I think. But anyway, there you go. So, Silly Sally Live, that's what I want. Or is it? Let me see. Silly Sally Live. Yes, have you got a note, Jackie? Have you got a note to explain why you're late? Right, should come on in a minute, this video.
In that area and for the neighbourhood facing functions. This is a message to wish all our community's partners and colleagues and to tell you a little bit about what's been going on in 2022. It's been a challenging year as we emerge from COVID. Demand continues to be really complex and to grow. But we're rising to that challenge and we can do it. Constabulary Fire and Rescue Services found to be a good police.
Now, it's very quiet, and as I say, it's actually not my fault for once. The video is really, really quiet where I recorded it from. But she's wishing everyone a happy Christmas. This is her festive message the Christmas before Nicola Bulley went missing.
Partners and volunteers in an award ceremony.
Now, I don't know if you heard that, but she said it's been a challenging year as we emerge from COVID. And you think, oh my God, poor thing, she thought that was a challenging year. She didn't know what was going to hit her in January.
Which bolsters our frontline policing capability and has enabled older, more experienced officers to move into specialist functions. So that's really good news for us. This Christmas,
so quiet that she's speaking, but let me tell you what she's saying. She's basically just wishing everyone a Merry Christmas. She said they've had a challenging year because of COVID. Right now, that's the first thing she says wrong there, because she says they were inspected by Her Majesty's Inspectorate or whatever. Well, the Queen had died by then, so she realises as she said it that she should have said His Majesty. Why is it playing over the background there? I'm not quite sure about that, why that's happening.
You want to stay informed throughout the year.
But basically, yeah. So she says we had a challenging year, good things that have happened that year, that they've been inspected by Her Majesty's Inspectorate and were found to be a good police force. What was the other thing she said? Oh, yeah, she said they'd had award ceremonies. Okay, yeah, so this is interesting. They're on the Freedom of Information Act website for the Lancashire Police. Somebody has made a request of Freedom of Information for Superintendent Sally Riley. It's just playing on its own now. But they haven't included them. So, but they've said, Dear Lancashire Constabulary, please can you tell me, one, what specialist qualifications Superintendent Riley has to be in charge of the search? taking over itself at the moment. Anyway, it should stop now. I'm in on plan. Why does it do
Two, has she ever been in charge of a search?
Anyway,
3,
so
what level
she
of
says
investigative training has
they
she had?
passed the
Yours
inspection.
faithfully, name removed.
They've had awards
So I
ceremony.
don't know. I'm presuming the person didn't supply their name.
It's not letting me turn it off, and it's talking over me, and I don't want it to. Right, I've removed it from the stream now, so it won't play because I need to explain to you about it. So you saw her anyway. You saw Silly Sally, and she had a uniform on, and she looked, you know, she always looked very stressed when we saw her with the Nicola Bulley case and everything. I'm not surprised because she didn't have a clue what was going on, did she? Bless her. She looked a bit more confident there, and she's in her office, and she's dressed up in her uniform and everything. She's looking forward to the future, isn't she? They've had awards ceremonies, she says. In September, they've taken on lots of new student officers, which has helped other officers, older operatives, to move on to specialist functions. She said they were looking forward to a busy Christmas with football and rugby, and wished everyone a Merry Christmas. And she was saying things, she said, if you're a victim of, be confident to call us because we will help you. This is what she actually says on that. I suppose it's almost like a press release, isn't it? That it's a festive message just before Christmas. She's telling victims to be confident to contact if they needed help, that the Lancashire Police would help them. And she was telling about the Facebook page, and she was telling them about the In the Know magazine, etc. It all sounded brilliant, you know, it sounded great. What Lancashire Police were doing, what they'd achieved, what they were going to do the following year. And then, of course, boom, along comes this Nicola Bulley case at the end of January. Hi, 411, hi. You know, so I do feel like it's almost like, because, you know, I think we're all blindsided by COVID. Things happen, don't they? Do you know what I always remember about actual COVID it was the 2020, wasn't it? And I remember when it came to January 2020, I remember thinking, oh God, that date looks like something futuristic, you know, 2020. I had this real foreboding. And then, of course, 3 months later, the new year I'm talking about, and then 3 months later, sort of COVID struck. But yeah, so we're all blindsided by that. And then she's thinking that everything's getting better for the Lancashire Police and everything's ironing out and that. And then, boom, it's the Nicola Bulley case. So, yeah, I don't know why that video just kept playing over what I was trying to sort of say over it. Right, let me find it again. You talk between yourself. It's nice that you're all talking about it between yourselves. Hi, Astra from Scotland. Oh, do you know, I have quite a lot of viewers from Scotland. That's quite nice. Yeah, it's nice to have people from all over the UK and all over the world, but all over the UK as well. So yeah, there's Chumbers from Scotland as well, I think, aren't you, Chumba? You're from Glasgow. Right, okay, sorry, I mustn't get distracted. I've got to find the video. Because the next thing I want to play you, so that was the first thing I wanted to play, because I wanted to show Silly Sally, as she was before the whole thing happened about the Nicola Bulley case. Just coasting along, wasn't she? You know, I'm sure she has good days and bad days in her work, just like everybody does. And being a police person, it's not easy. I mean, it's not easy to be in the police. I mean, you're dealing with very difficult issues all the time. I've always had respect for the police, but I think she did get caught here. But anyway, we'll see. Now, the next thing that I want to show you here was something that I found online, which maybe you know about or don't know about. But apparently, now I didn't know about this, but apparently, I mean, I knew there was a Freedom of Information Act and that, but apparently me, anyone, we can contact the Lancashire Police and ask about things under the Freedom of Information Act. And somebody had sent a request to Lancashire Police asking about Sally Riley and asking specific questions of her. Now I'm going to I'll fast forward it and then I'll share it with you. First name or just surname? Has she ever? Right, let me stop that. That's what it wouldn't do before. It wouldn't stop. Right, it's stopping now. So that's good. So now I can share it with you. Video file. Why won't you? There, can't I just share that? Now let's see. How can I see if you can see that? Sorry. No, you can't see that. Oh, I think you can see it. Add to stream. Acknowledgement of receipt. Oh, and then later on, they came back to whoever the person was and said further to the freedom. Now, I don't know if you can see this or not. It's probably not very good. Can be an individual, a company, or an organisation, but in each case, Section 8.1b requires that a request for information must include the name of the requester. And it goes into the details of it. It seems like they'll accept any name. I mean, I don't think it even has to be your real name, but it won't accept initials or just first name or just surname. So you can't just say Smith or even Mr. Smith, but you can say John Smith. And the streaming. Anyway, basically what somebody had put a claim in, oh God. Why is it doing this? It starts bubbling up on me. Yeah, so you could go into it and claim that yourself. You know, you can. Yeah, this person had sent a report, if you like, to the Freedom of Information Act for the Lancashire Police, requesting information about Sally Riley. Had they ever been in charge of a what do we call it, an search investigation before? What were their qualifications for running a search investigation, etc., and a few different questions. And they'd sent this email into the Freedom of Information Act department in Lancashire Police, and Lancashire Police replied to them and said, we will reply to you, but you have to give your name. Now, this person had remained anonymous and had withheld their name. And so basically what the reply that came back, which you can see quite freely on the website, the message that came back was, hi, Maltese Cross. Oh, thank you for enjoying my chats. So what came back was a response from Lancashire Police, from the Freedom Information Department or whatever of Lancashire Police, but saying to them, we will answer your request, but you have to give your name. And then that person, whoever it was, this was in February, right at the beginning of February. So it was just after Nicola had gone missing. She hadn't been found yet. And this person, whoever it was, didn't reply. So that was never addressed. But hi, Cuba Lakeland. But I just thought, hi, Jim. I just thought it was interesting because I've never even thought of doing that. Maybe we should all write some letters into the Lancashire Police asking for, under the Freedom of Information what actually happened on the 10th of January under the welfare check. I don't understand this not giving a little bit of information, but not all of it, and then saying to people, don't speculate. You know, it's just the most ridiculous thing that you've ever heard. You know, yes, there was a welfare check, but no, we're not going to tell you about it, but don't speculate. So you go, oh, all right then, I won't even think about it then. You know, it's crazy, I think, absolutely crazy. So hopefully all this will come out at the inquest. What happened at the welfare check? I mean, a public inquest is exactly that. It's a public inquest. The public do have a right to information. So, and if only they could see that by making it mysterious, it actually, now, if there is an investigation going on, I understand that. I mean, at the end of the day, they can't if there is an active investigation going on, they can't give out information, I suppose, without compromising the case. But the problem is, everyone's saying that, oh, it's all clear cut. She was just, you know, it was an accident, or she deleted herself. So they're not telling us that they're investigating anything suspicious. Yeah, right, says Suella. Well, why not? Why not? I mean, he's never replied to my email. He's the only person that even the coroner replied, even if it was to tell me that he wouldn't tell me anything. At least he had the courtesy to reply. Andrew Snowden, he knows he put his foot in it by saying that he knew when the police would find Nicola. He knows very well he totally put his foot in it because he's a total idiot. And he doesn't, but he thinks that by ignoring it, it'll go away. But it won't go away because I will be contacting him again. But anyway, yeah, I would be very surprised if Emma wasn't at the inquest or PA or whatever. I mean, it's not nice, you know, to go and listen to all the details, etc. Like in any, you know, I don't know, you know, they don't give gory details. I mean, I don't remember that from the inquest I attended. And I was there all the way through it, not only when I was actually called as a witness. You know, don't go into any gory details, but it's still not nice to hear about, you know, what's happened to your loved one. Now, you have to talk between yourself now, because I've written this video. I may end up, I can't show you the video, but you'll remember it anyway. It was so she's then did a couple of, while she was still in charge at the beginning, she did a couple of interviews. It might be better if because I've written all my notes down anyway. It might be best if I just read it out for you rather than trying to mess about with the videos, because it always gets too complicated, and then you know, it's better if I just read it out to you probably. So we've seen the video of her Christmas message in January, and she did not, and we've seen the email that was sent by some anonymous person to the Freedom of Information Department of Lancashire Police that they refused to answer because they said they needed a name. And whoever it was, this anonymous person, you know, it makes me think, who was it? I wonder who. I mean, it could be anyone. I mean, it could be someone who doesn't even know Nicola. But I thought it was strange that they got just this one, or that's the only one that came up on the internet. So who was that sent that, and then wouldn't give their name, you know? But anyway, in her first interview, Silly Sally said that Nicola, this is what she said, she was last seen on the towpath, and that the dog and the phone were found an hour later. I literally just, what I'm going to do is upload that video. I think that's what I'll do, because I can't get it to play in the way I want it to play. So what I'll do is after this, I'll just upload the video, because what I did was I picked it all out and put it together and trimmed it and everything. Spent all that time on it, and now I can't put it on the live. But what I'll do is I'll upload it afterwards, and then you can have a look at it and you see these points. So she said that Nicola was last seen on the towpath. This was the first interview. And the dog and the phone were found an hour later. That's what she said on the first interview. The dog and the phone were found an hour later. Well, you know, that's just not even possible. I don't know how she could even say that by accident, really. But anyway, then she said about all the people that were out looking for Nicola, fire rescue, coast guard, etc., other police forces. You know, it was like the world and his dog was out looking for Nicola. And she appealed for dash cam or any other sightings. And she also said that the reporter asked her, how did she get to the towpath? How do you think she arrived at the towpath? And Silly Sally said, I'm not aware of how she got to the towpath, but we believe that she got there on foot. So that again is a mystery, isn't it? You know, did she drive from the school and park up at, do we even know where she parked up? Because there's no CCTV, well, none that we've seen. Nobody, the only CCTV we have seen are those sort of weird doctored ones, or one of them's doctored at least, of her coming out that morning to take the kids off to school. We haven't seen any CCTV of Nicola. We've seen CCTV of other dog walkers that morning, but we've seen nothing of Nicola. So she requested if anyone had any dash cam, whatever. Then the next so now she said they found the dog an hour later and the phone on the bench an hour later in the first interview. The second interview, she says the dog was found at 9:33. So the timeline to me has just completely confused me, because it changes every 5 minutes. It's like I can't even get my head around the timeline, because it's so different now, what they say happened now from what they said at the beginning. So there's two possible reasons for that. One, that they were completely lied to, or just were inept at the beginning. You know, maybe it's because, to be honest, maybe they were led astray. Or maybe they just didn't check into it enough, or maybe they didn't think it was important enough. And then there was someone saw her on the towpath. Who was that saw her on the towpath? Does anybody know? Yeah. Who was that actually saw her on the towpath? Was it Emma? Do we know the name of the person? Or is that the person that now is saying that no, they didn't see her? It's so confusing. So confusing. They tell us not to speculate. Well, you know, don't be so bloody confusing about everything. Then I noticed in a next an interview that I watched that's on the video that I'm just going to put out as a video afterwards, there was a guy from the Lancashire News or whatever, you know, a local reporter interviewed her, and she said to him, you could tell right from the beginning she had decided Nicola was in the river. Just the way she's talking to this guy, that's what she's decided, because she's got somebody who said that Nicola was on the towpath, so she thinks, oh, she went to the river. They've got no evidence of her leaving the river, and she's got Paul in the background, because we didn't know this then, but somebody's telling her that Nicola's got these issues, and then of course she would have known about the welfare check on the 10th, which we didn't know about, and she's just decided that I think she just decided that that's what had happened, because then everything she says to this guy that's interviewing her, and you'll see when you're watching the video, everything she says to this guy, you can tell that that's in her head. Nicola's in the water. And as much as she can she doesn't know why. She's got no evidence. She actually says that later on in the press conference, but that's what she thinks has happened, or that's what the police at the time think has happened. So she says they've got 60 officers out and about looking for Nicola, as well as the Coast Guard and all these other, the river specialists and whatever. This is besides Peter Falding. And she said at the moment she was happy with the numbers that they had out there, but if they had to increase them at a future date, they would. She didn't think that the phone not being switched off from the work call was suspicious. It wasn't suspicious that it had never been clicked off. You know, she just decided already by then that Nicola had either fallen in the water, or I think she thought she'd fallen in the water. No, so then the guy, the reporter, he says to her, do you think it would have been a good idea to seal off the area? Of course, he means put police, because they never sealed it off as a crime scene. They found a phone, a dog running around, a woman's disappeared. They keep talking about this harness that they found. Do they mean the harness or do they mean the lead? Because why would Nicola take the harness off? If you've got a dog, you have a harness, you have a lead. You attach the lead to the harness, and when you come to let the dog off the lead, you take the lead off, but you don't take the harness off, because then you've got to get it back on again. You just take the lead clips to the top of the harness. But she specifically says harness. We found the harness on the riverbank. Why was the harness on the riverbank? I don't believe for a minute that the harness would have been taken off. And where was the lead then? Or was the lead attached to the harness? We don't know, because we haven't been told. That can't be secret information, can it? Was it, to actually, didn't they take photos? Aren't there photos of, wouldn't you take a photo of the harness, where it was, the position of it, where the phone was on the beach? Where's the photos? Yeah, where are the photos, actually, when I think about it? Where are the photos? Because they never treated it as a crime scene. So as she's been interviewed, as this guy's interviewing her, there's people sitting on the bench. He's still not being treated, or they've never taken fingerprints off the phone. Well, I say they've never have, maybe they have, I don't know, but they've never said they have, or they've never, we've never seen any of this. So when he said that to her, do you think it would have been a good thing to, fence off the bench, etc.? She automatically assumed that he meant fence off the river. Like, not the police to do it for a police cordon, but she thought he was saying, do you think there should be like security rails around the river to stop people falling in and things? And she starts going on, oh, well, that's not a matter for the police. That's the council that have to decide that, and this is a beautiful area. And if we can't put guardrails up everywhere, because that would detract from the beauty of the place. And he sort of, like, you could tell he sort of did a bit of it. And he's saying, no, so you don't think that you missed any evidence by not putting a cordon up? And she goes, oh, you mean a police cordon? It's like, duh, yeah, police cordon. You just think so, right from the beginning. I don't think through any badness. I've got to say, I don't think through any badness. I think just ineptitude, really. Just taking someone's word for it that Nicola had these issues and whatever, and just assuming, because somebody supposedly has seen her actually there with the dog. Nobody's seen her leave. There's no, so just presuming that she's in that river area. And that was what she had in her head, or that's what the police in general had in their head. And then she said, so then she did the big sort of press conference actually in the town hall, or, well, it wasn't the town hall, in the, what do they call it, in the local hall or whatever, with all the press reporters then, because by now it's getting big, isn't it? I don't think they ever knew or realised how big this was going to get, and how people were going to get so embroiled in this story. So she's gone from just having a quiet interview by the side of the river with the local reporter, suddenly now she's in the church hall or whatever with, 20 national reporters there, all the cameras on her and the mic and everything. She must have thought, oh my God, this time a couple of weeks ago, I was just sort of dealing with my own little thing. And at that interview, at that press conference, she said that they were looking. This was, I remember watching it, and I remember a sharp intake of breath when she said we've come to the conclusion that Nicola's gone in the river. It was like, what? How did you, what made you think that? Because I hadn't even thought that by then. To me, it seemed like Nicola probably, I didn't know anything about PA then really. And I was really presuming that she's probably been abducted or come to some harm from a third party that she doesn't know as she's walking with the dog. But so she says this. She said, we've had drone helicopters out. So she's saying that she thinks Nicola's in the river, but at the same time, she's saying they've put all these resources into searching the river and the banks, the river and the banks. She does, because Nicola in the end, she was found. Well, she wasn't found in the reeds. Apparently, she came down the river, didn't she? Ended up in the reeds, but she could have been in the reeds at the time when Peter Folding was looking for her. But according to Silly Sally, they've had people searching the river, searching the banks, drones, underwater drones, helicopters, dogs, waders, sonar pole cameras, from the area of the bench to 15 kilometres to the sea. She says that's what, because she wants to say what they're doing. They're doing all these things, but they still never found her. They still never found her. Do you know, like, when you think about it, it just doesn't make sense. The 1 minute she's blowing the police's trumpet and all these resources they've put in, and that's even beside Peter Folding. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to find Nicola. That I didn't like, because I thought, well, really, it's not unfortunately, because nobody wants to think that Nicola is dead, really. So you're saying unfortunately, but maybe it's a better scenario that she has run off with someone or whatever, than she's actually, in the river. So then, she said they've done these house-to-house, gone house-to-house searches, not searches, but asking questions, looking at door cam, or whatever they call it. They had a rich picture of data. So then she comes out with this other timeline then. So how many times has this timeline changed? So she says 8:43, she's on the river path. Then she goes to the lower field. She's seen on the lower field. That's when I think that might have been Emma, actually, who was on the lower field. 8:53, she emails her boss. 9:01, she signs into the Teams meeting, a minute late. So, it makes you wonder, was it someone else signing in and it took them a little while to get in? 9:10, she was seen on the upper field with the phone in front of her, wasn't she? 9:20, the phone was on the bench, and that's how she puts it. She doesn't say Nicola put the phone on the bench. She says the phone was on the bench. So they knew that from it must be the data that they collect from the telephone must show that it was stationary from on the bench. I mean, I presume that's the only way, is it? They would know that it was on the bench. And they made this funny statement, didn't they, that the phone moved to the bench. Like, not Nicola put the phone on the bench. So why did they say that? Why did they not say at 9:20 Nicola had put the phone on the bench? They never say that. So she said that on 9, when was it found? What did she say? So at 9:30, so at 9:20 the phone was on the bench. 9:30 the work meeting finished, but Nicola was still signed into it. 9:33, a witness found Willow, the dog harness. Again, we don't know about the lead, and the phone. Whereas in the earlier interview, she said that the dog was found an hour later. That timeline, we haven't got a clue what that. I don't think they've got a clue really. But anyway, so she said that this 10 minutes in this big press conference she made, there's 10 minutes that we think that something happened between 9:10 and 9:20 when the phone was on the bench, so they're working on this premise that within that 10 minutes, now 10 minutes doesn't seem like a long time, but of course a lot can happen in 10 minutes. You could fall into the water, you could jump into the water, you could be pushed into the water. And don't forget that Peter Folding said, keeps ringing through my head about Peter Folding saying the only way she could have got carried away there is if somebody pushed her in. And also about Emma and her last push, keeps talking about the last push, and I think, gosh, anyway, I don't know, that's just something that occurs to me sometimes. And then who was it? Why did they never say? There's always, was it Ron? Was it this? Nobody's ever said specifically, nobody official has said who found the phone. Was the dog tied up? Was it? Nobody has actually told us. They know, there's maybe things they don't know, but they know who found the phone. They know who found the phone, surely. Who found the phone? That's confusing. Everything's confusing. Was it a harness? Was it a lead? Just tell us that. You can't tell us everything, but you can tell us some things. Anyway, so she narrowed it down to this 10-minute window that something must have happened to Nicola. And the other thing that I thought was funny, so, they notify, did they ring the vet? Did they notify the school? Did the school notify Paul? Why did they notify the school first? If they've got the phone there and they know who from the photo, apparently somebody knew it was. Well, I would go round to their house. If I knew, where they lived, you'd go round to the house, you'd phone the police. I wouldn't phone the school. Why would you phone the school? Why would you? Anyway. So then she went on to say that they'd eliminated any trace of her leaving the area. That they'd look, because there was no CCTV, no witnesses seeing her leaving the area. And this is when she came out with what, to me, when I was watching it, was just a bombshell, because I was still not realizing where this was going. She said, we've eliminated any trace of her ever leaving the area, but we remain open to if anyone could come up with any dash cam or CCTV. So we come to the conclusion that she was by the river, and our main hypothesis is she fell into the river, or she went into the river. That's how she puts it. I think she says she went into the river. I just remember gasping when I saw it. I thought, why? She does that walk. Even one of the neighbours said, when she was interviewed on GB News or whatever, we do that walk every day and we manage not to fall in the river. She'd know to stay away from. She can't have just fallen into the river. She's either jumped in. If that's what happened, she's either jumped in there or she's been pushed in there. She hasn't just fallen in. I don't believe it. I mean, maybe let's give it the benefit of the doubt and think, what, did she slip down? But that same interview then, I'll tell you that in a minute. So then she went on to say, so after speculating that she's probably fallen into the river, she then says, we don't want any speculation because it's distressing to the family. So it's not distressing to the family, the speculation that she had literally just made. She just speculated that she fell into the river. There's no third party involvement. We don't want any speculation, otherwise it's distressing to the family. She then said, we're looking for she starts talking then about the clothing that Nicola was supposedly wearing. This ankle length black quilted gilet jacket. Now we know from the CCTV she wasn't wearing an ankle length jacket. Who's got an ankle length jacket? Emma. Then under that she was wearing a black Engelbert Strauss waist-length coat worn under the gilet, tight-fitting black jeans, long green socks tucked into her jeans, she said. Well, how do you tuck your socks into your jeans? Don't you? You tuck your jeans into your socks, don't you? But anyway, ankle wellies, next ankle wellies, a necklace. Wonder if they found the necklace. And this pale blue Fitbit. We still don't know, do we really? Where is the Fitbit? Do we know? Oh God, so much conflicting information. If the actual official, like the police, would say, yes, we've got the Fitbit, or but they don't give us any information. They just say, don't speculate. And then she said, we only want factual information, please. So only Richard gave the numbers to ring. Only factual information, even though I've just speculated about everything that happened. Don't ring us with anything unless it's factual information. Or if anyone's got any more footage, fair enough. But only factual, no speculation. She mentions that so much. And then she says, oh, keep yourself safe. If you're coming, and it's fair enough, you're coming out, because a lot of people by then were starting to go and look for Nicola, weren't they? And she's saying, don't go into boats unless you've got experience of boats. I mean, I think in the end they did create a dispersal order. But you know what? They should have done that from the beginning, because the whole scene should have been cordoned off. People shouldn't have been allowed to just go and start searching for Nicola. Do you know, it's like if you have a murder scene, well, it wasn't a murder scene, but a mystery scene where something's happened. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but do you know that boat incident is it Bournemouth, where they're still not saying, are they, about really what happened there? It's almost as if they try, they went and they put the boat under police protection, and are they learning from these things? Because that is the biggest mistake that they made on that day, that they just let everybody roam all over that bench. They never cordoned off the area, and then they moaned about people going there. But people will go there. That's what people are like. They're curious. That's our human nature. Anyone who was anywhere near there, they're going, and they want to help. I mean, to be fair, they want to help. They can talk about all TikTokers and this, that, and the other. Yeah, you'll always get some people who are being ghoulish, but most people probably went there because they genuinely thought they could do something to help. And because they weren't told not to go there and the place wasn't cordoned off, then they went. Made a mess of it, didn't they? So then somebody asked, she opened up to questions then. She said, I'll take some questions. And somebody asked her about the data on the Fitbit. She just blanked that completely, basically, and just said, yes, that's being handled by the inquiry team. We don't want any speculation. Tell us then, don't want any speculation. Have they found anything on the Fitbit? This is what makes me think maybe there is some sort of case. Why? Because otherwise, why would that information not be freely available? And then somebody asked her, did she contribute to the team call? And she said, no, she didn't contribute to it, but that was normal, that she wouldn't always have to contribute to it. So that was quite normal. Then she said, lots of calls. Oh yeah, she said about they were getting lots and lots of calls, but they were still as sure as they could be that Nicola had gone into the water. She said the drop was steep, the drop from near the bench, but she didn't want to speculate. So every time she speculated, oh gosh, when you watch it later, you'll see, every time she speculates, she says, but we don't want to speculate, and then speculates again. So she said she believed that she'd entered accidentally. Right, what else was she asked? Oh, so one of the reporters specifically said to her, is there anything else that we should know? Was Nicola ill? Did she have any problems that we should know about? and she said, we have clearly considered the whole picture, and that is not relevant. That's what she said. So that reporter specifically asked her if Nicola had any issues, and he said no. She said no. It's not relevant. She said that they were updating the family every day. One of the other reporters said to her, why do you think she didn't have the phone with her? Because we normally always have got, it's unusual, isn't it? To, if she'd been on the phone, like to the works call, and she was supposedly holding it in front of her, or was that Emma holding it over her face so that nobody realised who she was? But yeah, so the reporter said, why do you think she didn't have the phone with her then when she went into the water? And she just sort of said, oh, well, we don't know what happened. There could have been an issue with the dog, blah, blah, blah. So this same reporter said, was the dog wet? She said, no, the dog was dry. So they've got no evidence. And she said, oh, have you got any evidence to show that she fell into the river? No, we haven't got any evidence. So what's that? It's not speculation. What, they've got no more information than us, you can speculate. Basically, what she's saying is we've decided that's what's happened. So you can't speculate anything else. But no, we haven't got any evidence of that. It's just speculation. So the dog had not been in the river. I wasn't seen in the river. She said, somebody asked, why do you think you haven't found her then? And she said, well, all we can say is it's a very long stretch of river. We're doing everything we can. We've got the best minds, the best trained officers looking for Nicola, and that's it, basically. So, yeah. So basically that was her last press conference, because after that it was Rebecca who came in, and then Jackie was just saying to me about Stables, is it Pauline Stables? And I'm going to look into her because I don't know much about her. But yeah, so my question to Silly Sally Riley is, basically, you didn't know anything, so why did you even say that was the hypothesis at the time? Because really all you had to say was, we have no idea what's that. You don't have to say it's better to say you don't know what's happened than say, well, this is our hypothesis. We don't want to speculate, but this is what we think happens, and nobody else speculate about anything else. So that's where she went. Well, she went wrong with a few things, and I think she may have been led astray by PA, or maybe her mind was already made up because she knew about whatever had happened on the 10th of January. Now, it might turn out that whatever happened on the 10th of January shows that Nicola was on the edge, but until we know that, you can't say to us, we're not telling you anything. There was no camera, there was no nothing, but you've just got to believe what we say, but we're not actually really saying anything. Oh, God. Anyway, I'm glad I went through this, because I do think, because of the silence that there's been ever since Nicola was identified. Yes. All this silence, we forget about these things, when you've got to go back and look at these videos from right at the beginning. And then I know why we are all so confused and speculating and whatever. It wasn't just for nothing. We didn't just all sit there and think, oh, we're going to have a bad mind about this and we're going to start thinking bad things. There were reasons for why we thought that we did, thought the way we did. And whether we get any answers at the inquest, whether, as I always think, that there is perhaps some things going on under the surface, I'm going to look at, as I say, at Rebecca's interview and see what I can see there. I sort of was hoping that Rebecca, she seems to me like she's quite a smart person at least, but, I don't know, I have to look back over that press conference because I saw it once and it's quite a long time ago now. Same with Silly Sally, trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I just think she was just totally out of her depth. And not putting the police cordon right from the beginning and keeping that area, keeping the public away, that was a massive, massive mistake that they made. But that's what I think. So, so what do you think? Well, I know you'll let me know what you think. As I say, I'm going to put that, sorry, but I'm not very good with videos and stuff like that. But the trouble is sometimes when you start trying to do it and it just gets in the way, I'd rather just tell you about it and then put the video on. I'll upload the video and you can have a look at it and have a look at what I should have really done was, like I did last week with some of the Emma interviews, upload the video first so that you can have a look at it and then do the live and we can talk about it after. But yeah, Charlie, I hope there is justice. I hope we get answers to this, Desi. And yeah, Jackie, do you know what? I do feel for the coroner because he's got to unravel this, and it won't be easy. It won't be easy to unravel because she'd been in the water supposedly for 3 weeks nearly. I think I said on the other one, I did look into everyone's worried about because I get emotional about things, but I'm all right at the moment. We'll see. I think I'm just hoping that something's, there's going to be some answers at the inquest. Who knows what will happen at the inquest, but I do think hi Alice there. I do think that James Aidley is capable. So he's got a lot to unravel and it won't be easy. And I've been reading up about these river deaths and things. It's very difficult to establish because even if he might establish that she fell in the water and that she drowned, how can he establish whether she fell in the water, was pushed in the water, or put herself in the water? How could you even tell that? And then would that have to be an open verdict then? Because if you couldn't prove which one it is, wouldn't you have to call it an open verdict then? I would imagine, if you can't prove that it's one or the other. I don't know. And I do feel for, I mean, if Paul is innocent, I feel for him, but I don't know. I can't. Anyway, we've got that to come yet. I'll be looking at his interview just before the inquest as well. So just to remind us, because I know we've all seen his interviews and stuff, but I think we just need to see him, see what happens at the inquest. We'll be together at the inquest. I will be live. Or I'm presuming it's going to be longer than 5 minutes this time. I'm not going to the inquest, but I will be here and I will be live, and any news that comes through we can share. They won't televise the inquest, Barb. Thank you, Hannah. They won't televise the inquest itself, but there'll be reporters there and that who are reporting on it. So it'll be probably on the news all day. Yeah, there's so many questions, Jill. So, Desi, the inquest starts. It does say there is. I'll find out because it is. You can go into it is public on the coroner's sort of website or whatever. What time it is? I think it's about 10 or something. Jackie might know that. I don't know if you know. Oh, you're going to do a walk for 11. You're going to organise a walk. You met what? They're actually there at the place. It's an all-day inquest, yeah. But they might adjourn it. We don't know. Anyway, thank you, Mia. Thank you for the super sticker. When you're doing the walk, let me know, and I'll put it on here as well, so we can. If anyone's, yeah. I think there's a few people planning on going to the inquest. I mean, it's quite a big place. It could probably fit quite a few people in, but don't know how many goes. Yeah, it could be undetermined. Yeah, now there'll be all the reporters will be there. I think all the mainstream news, they've been waiting for this inquest because they're not allowed to talk about it at all. The mainstream news are not allowed to talk about the case at all. So it's only YouTubers and those sort of things that we're allowed to talk about it because, Elaine, You're just arriving. I'm just going. But you can catch up. You can catch up. Ah, you only live up the road, Jill. Ah, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I've got to go now, Elaine, just as you're arriving, but you can catch up. Okay. Thank you all for being here with me. That was great. It was great to have so many people. I know I can't always answer every single message. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody saying hello and that, but you know, sometimes when I just get into the flow of telling you what I'm going to tell you. So Silly Sally, she was useless. That was the start of everything going wrong. And next time I think I'll probably be looking at the Rebecca Smith. Oh yeah, Kay Burley. Well, do you know what? I like Kay Burley because I know she definitely will be there first in the queue, and she gives the information, etc. So, oh, because your battery went 411, you have to catch up. Anyway, thank you so much for being here with me. I've got to go, but I really appreciate. And I'll be back very soon. And remember to always live and love very carefully. Until I see you again, may your gods go with you. Thank you. Thank you.